Do not panic, Bears fans. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. I am back from vacation, ready to go as training camp is getting going here. And obviously, a big storyline around the Bears right now is Jaylon Johnson, as he was placed on the NFI list over the weekend, which led to a lot of speculation, a lot of thoughts. Is he hurt? What's going on? Well, let's first define what the non-football injury list is, aka NFI. This is the NFL's definition. Designates players who are unable to participate in football activities due to injuries or illnesses sustained outside of NFL team-related events. This could include injuries from off-season workouts, recreational activities, or pre-existing conditions not related to football. Now, when this came down was a day after Jaylon Johnson made some comments on the Rich Eisen show about his contract situation, but really more about the cornerback market exploding in general, and that led Bears fans to speculate. Does he want a new deal? Does he want more guaranteed money? What's going on? Is this why he was placed on NFI? Is he not going to practice until he gets more money? Well, they can't actually do that based on that definition that I did. Now, I'm not saying it's never happened. I'm not saying someone has never been placed on NFI due to something that's not supposed to fall within those parameters. I'm sure it has. The timing of it was certainly interesting. So let's just revisit the comments Jaylon made because I was out over the weekend in New York, so haven't had a chance to touch on this. He said, really just seeing a lot of the other corners getting paid. I almost feel like we might have another discussion coming up here soon. The market is moving. And look, I don't blame Bears fans at all for being like, wait a minute, does this, he made these comments and then the next day he goes on NFI. Is this contract related? But again, according to the definition of what NFI actually is, and also Brad Biggs, who says there's no connection, I don't think that is the case here. I think Bears fans can breathe a sigh of relief, at least right now. This is what Biggsy said on The Score this morning. He said, Jaylon Johnson being on NFI has nothing to do with his contract. I trust Biggs with stories like this more often than not. My take is I expect him in camp soon. Now, remember, veterans don't even report until tomorrow, so it's not like he's late or something like that. So, you know, if there's a story where Wednesday is here and he's not at training camp or he's not practicing, okay, it's a story then where then we could speculate, okay, is he injured? Is he holding out? Is there a contract dispute thing going on here, which we'll talk about his contract coming up here in a second. But until we have more information, I just don't think there's a reason to panic, at least not right now. If you are a Bears fan, he seemed ready to go in that interview with Rich Eisen. Could it be a familial situation where he's got to stay out in California with his daughter for an extra day or two? Maybe he misses the first practice or check-in day. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, the day before Veterans Report, I'm choosing to kind of not overreact to this at this point in time because I just don't think there really is a reason to until we know more. Do you have any concerns with Jaylon Johnson? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Give us your thoughts in the comments section of this video. Now, when you look at the rest of his contract, just to kind of revisit that, because obviously Jaylon's not an idiot. He's paying attention. He's seeing these corners get paid. Stingley and Sauce, they're making $30 million per year. J.C. Horn, who I think Jaylon's a better player than, is making $25. And, Jaylon, his salary for the next few years is $16 million, and his average annual salary was $19. He signed a 4-year, $76 million deal with $54 million guaranteed, and I think that's probably the number he's noticing the most. It's like, okay, 54 guaranteed. Sauce got 86. Stingley got 89. Like, even if Jaylon would concede behind closed doors, which he wouldn't publicly, but even if he would, I don't think he would concede that he's $30-something million worse than those guys in terms of guaranteed money. So I could certainly understand him wanting more guaranteed, especially when you look at this. After this year, there's actually no guaranteed money left. All $54.4 million of the guaranteed dollars he got on that new deal were front-loaded on the first and second year. So I could understand if he's kind of looking ahead like, well, I don't have any guaranteed money after this year. Should I consider protecting myself? I will say this. I think 1 year in to a 4-year deal that you signed a year ago, if he actually were to hold out, that would bother me. And I'm typically pro player in these situations. But like when you sign a 4-year agreement and this year your money is all guaranteed for the most part, I don't really have like this sympathy like, well, yeah, all these other guys got paid. Okay, but that happens. That's the cycle of the NFL. That's the NFL contract cycle. No one forced you to sign a 4-year contract. Here's what I would say. Ball out this year, and then we'll revisit it next year, even with 2 years left. Maybe you don't get a brand new deal, but okay, give me some security, give me some more guarantees because technically I have none left, which means you guys can cut or trade me and I don't get a single dollar from you moving forward. But it's guaranteed this year. That would be my thought and advice to him. Not saying he wouldn't have a legitimate gripe, but again, you signed a 4-year deal a year ago. Let's at least get 2 years into that deal and get to the point where there is no guaranteed money left. And if you have a big year this year, and by the way, if this team wins some, because this team's won nothing for years now, then you have more of a legitimate gripe. And again, I'm not saying he is griping about it, but he's paying attention to the market and is certainly understanding of what is going on. Okay, today's show is sponsored by Brunt, the best working boots I have ever owned. As a homeowner, there's always projects around the house to work on, and Brunt's boots provide both comfort and the durability required to get those jobs done. Before I found Brunt, I can't tell you how many different working boots I tried and went through. I was always left with foot pain, blisters, and they just didn't offer the overall performance that Brunt boots do. The Marin boots from Brunt are the most comfortable boots I've ever worn. You can finally have durable work boots that are as comfortable as your sneakers. They are lightweight, waterproof, slip and oil resistant, heat resistant, and electrical hazard rated. Join over 500,000 customers and join the Brunt family today. Brunt lets you try the boots on the job risk-free, and all of their products have free shipping. Brunt was tired of the workwear brands and out there that were cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that don't hold up. So they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time only, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt when you use code CHAT at checkout. Go to bruntworkwear.com, use our code CHAT, and you are good to go. After you order, they will ask where you heard about Brunt. Please do us a favor. Tell us we sent you. Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. Again, code CHAT, $10 off. Okay, more NFI news for the Bears as Jaylon isn't the only player placed on the list. Jade Walker, the undrafted free agent receiver that I'm somewhat intrigued with, he was placed on there as well. Ian Wheeler. Before we get to Wheeler, real quick on Walker, my guess would be that between the end of OTAs and report day, because rookies reported on the 19th a couple of days ago, did he tweak a hamstring or something like that? All these players, when they report, they undergo a physical, a medical exam. Something probably popped up with Walker. So maybe he suffered some kind of minor injury in workouts during the 6 weeks off that all these players had. So we'll see if we hear more there. My guess with Ian Wheeler is this still stems from his ACL tear last year. Did he retweak something over the last 6 weeks? Certainly a possibility. I will say this. Typically, if it's more serious or if it's directly football related, a new thing, football related, you'll go on PUP. And that's not the case here. He's on NFI, so I would guess that he is close to being full throttle. Maybe this is just kind of a measure that they're going to take it easy with Wheeler to start training camp, but certainly keep an eye on that because I do think the running back position is pretty open, and Wheeler could get into the mix if he picked up where he left off last training camp. Case Keenum was briefly placed on the list the day of report day, because remember, quarterbacks report with rookies as well. And then the next day, he was taken off the list and presumably reported. So I'm guessing just family vacation, whatever, veteran quarterback. They placed him on there because he wasn't going to be there for the literal report day with the rookies, and he reported yesterday. So that would be my thought there. If it's something more significant, I'm sure we'll hear about it. But when you go on and then come off that quickly, typically it's just some kind of measure that a team takes because he's not literally in the building, but I'm guessing he is now, which is why he came off the list so quickly. All right, subscribe right now because training camp is here, and we got you covered on a daily basis throughout Bears training camp. You're going to want to turn on those notifications as well because when we go live, when we publish a video, you're going to get a notification on your phone, on your tablet, wherever you watch our show, immediately in real time. That way you know what the latest is surrounding this football team. So if you want to stay in the know with the Chicago Bears, we are the channel for you. Just hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications today. Quick little news around the NFC North. The Lions, I'm not going to feel bad for the Lions, but they have had some tough breaks with injuries. They already have suffered a season-ending one as Levi Onwuzurike, their defensive tackle, kind of a run stopper, already out for the year. Tore ACL. They signed him, re-signed him, I believe, $5 million during NFL free agency. And not going to say it's like a season-altering injury, but certainly hurts. It kind of would be like if Billings went down for the Bears again, not a headliner name, but over the course of 17 games, that adds up on you. And we saw how much losing Billings meant to the Bears defense last year. And look, the Lions, their defensive injuries, I think it buried them last year. I really do. As weird as it is to say, I think they were the best team in the NFL for most of last year, but they just could not overcome the just avalanche of injuries that they had. And obviously the Commanders came in and they couldn't stop them on defense, but already losing a key player. Taylor Decker, also their left tackle, he's banged up. Dan Campbell did say that he should be ready to practice after the Hall of Fame game on July 31st, so it sounds like he'll be back and ready to go to start the season. Remember, the Bears play the Lions in week 2, so I would expect Decker to be back, but not great. Not a great start if you're Detroit. And look, injuries pop up. The Bears are going to have some. You just hope that key guys don't get injured. It's part of it's a luck game, and already a big red X mark for Detroit's roster in terms of losing a notable player. All right, who's going to win the NFC North this year? If you think the Bears go from worst to first, type CHI. If you think it's the Lions repeating for a third straight year, type DET. If you're rolling with the Packers, you know what to type. FGB in the comments. And then Minnesota, type MIN. My name is Harrison Graham. You can also get real-time Bears updates by following me on Twitter at HGramNFL. My tweets, when news come out, my opinions will be up in real time. So give me a follow over there. DMs are wide open if you want to talk some ball. And we'll see you next time here on Chicago Bears Now.